Hey there, I'm Christopher Chaos and welcome to an all-new episode of my iPhone show. And in this episode I'm going to give a rundown of the iPhone 4S, and also this video is being recorded with my iPhone 4S too, so make sure you take advantage of that 1080 HD quality. So the first main thing is the iPhone 4S isn't a whole lot different really than the iPhone 4. It's the same design and everything, it's really the internal stuff that's really different. So I'm not going to run through the whole iPhone 4S because a lot of it's pretty much the same as the iPhone 4. However, Siri and the camera and the new A4 chip are the three major things that really make this a better phone than compared to the iPhone 4. So first thing I'll talk about is the camera. It works quite well. You take pictures and everything, you can notice a little bit of an increase in the quality of some of the pictures that you'll take. You get, with the better optics inside the camera, you're getting more colors, you're getting more light. So that's really helping it out, and it's boosting it from the iPhone 4's 5 megapixel camera to now the iPhone 4S, which has a 8 megapixel camera, so you're going to get a lot more clarity. Now what does it kind of mean to you by having more pixels? Well, if you take a picture of something maybe from a distance and stuff like that, you're going to have some extra pixels to work with, so if you want to crop it down, which with iOS 5 you're now able to crop pictures. So with that extra 8 megapixels compared to the 5 megapixels from the iPhone 4, you can crop a little bit farther in before you're going to start losing the quality of the picture. So that kind of gives you that little leeway to kind of mess with your pictures, zoom in a little bit, and hopefully not lose a lot of quality when you're zooming in. So the video portion of the iPhone 4S is also another major step in the camera. The iPhone 4 did 720 HD, where the iPhone 4S does 1080 HD. Also adding image stabilization is a very nice addition to that as well. The video clarity does look great, the stabilization looks pretty good too, and everything. Here's a couple test videos I've done. I did one run through the yard with the dog chasing me, and a little bit of stuff of moving around and everything. And you can kind of take your own opinion off of how the video looks. So with it being now 1080 HD compared to 720, some of the video files are going to take up a little bit more memory than compared to the iPhone 4. So you are going to have to be aware of that when you're taking video, that these videos will take up a little bit more than the iPhone 4 did because they are higher quality of video. So the next thing is Siri. In my opinion, Siri is pretty amazing. However, right now it's on a little bit of a glitchy kind of basis. It is in beta testing, as they've said, but there's times where Siri doesn't connect to the network. You try to ask it a question, try to have it do something, and it says it can't connect to the network right now, or there's a problem, or something like that. And it could be just maybe the mass volume of people switching over to the iPhone 4S, or the beta testing, I don't know. But there's some glitchy times. Some people are having no problems whatsoever with Siri, and other people are having a lot of problems. Mine kind of comes and goes. Once you learn like the commands you can use with Siri, you can do a lot, and it's really cool. It's going to take a little bit of practice. It's not going to work, the way you want it right away. But once you learn what proper things to be able to say, how to say them, and really utilize it, it's really amazing. Doing text in the phone in the car, I have my phone usually plugged into the stereo inside my car, so I can hear it through the speakers inside my car, and quickly holding down that button, the home button, to activate Siri, and then talking to it is pretty amazing for doing stuff like text messages. You're telling it a new text message, who you want to send it to, what you wanted to say. It'll read it back to you, make sure you said it right. I have had it a few times where I've had to maybe repeat the text message about 4 or 5 times before it got every word correct, because sometimes the words aren't correct. But it's kind of learning experience of how you're going to have to do this and how you're going to have to get it set up. Right out of the box, Siri is not active, so you do have to go into your settings, find Siri in there, go in there and turn on Siri. Otherwise, when you go to hold down the home button, you're just going to get the normal voice recognition system that normally comes with the iPhone. But I mean, Siri can do a lot of fun stuff too. I mean, you can just ask it crazy questions. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? And you're going to get some kind of crazy answer. It's kind of fun just to kind of play with and see what kind of answers you're going to get from Siri. You get a lot of other important things. You can ask it for the weather. You can ask what time it is. Sometimes if it doesn't understand what it is you're asking for, it might ask if you want to do a web search for it, which that still helps as well. You can of course do things like play music from it. You can tell it to play a certain artist. You can hit the button while it's playing that certain artist and ask it what song is this, and it's going to tell you what the name of that track is and what the name of the artist is. You can also tell it to skip. You can do a lot of stuff with calendars. You can set up new appointments. You can set up reminders based on a time, a date, or even a location. Now with the location-based stuff, if you're going to set up a location, you're going to need to have the address somewhere saved inside of your contacts. So say if you're trying to tell it to call somebody when you get to Joe's house. Well, in the contact Joe, you're going to need Joe's address for it to know when you've arrived at Joe's house. If you also set up like a me kind of contact, like which is like a you know, kind of a thing, and you have in there like your house, your work, your school, your spouse, and stuff like that, that really helps out for Siri to recognize certain things like that. Like remind me to call my mom when I get home. Then it knows when you say my home that it's referring to you. So you just have to set it up in there and kind of get it all set up. I'll probably do another video at some point of kind of a breakdown of Siri to kind of get a little more in depth with that stuff. But utilizing Siri is really an awesome tool inside the iPhone 4S. So then another major thing is the faster processor inside of it. Some things you might not notice much of a difference. I tried running Angry Birds on my iPhone 4 and compared to my iPhone 4S by running them simultaneously, and not really a big big difference in the jump of speed. There was a good increase, it was a little bit faster. Certain other apps, it's the same thing. It's only a little bit of a difference, not a real huge noticeable kind of a thing. One that I really did like, that I noticed a big jump in speed, is the Histomatic picture application. If you've used the Histomatic picture application, it's a really cool application for taking really fancy looking pictures that look really nice, like photography pictures. However, when you take a picture, it has to kind of like develop it, basically. It develops it into that style of what kind of film you chose and what kind of flash and what kind of lens you chose. And with the iPhone 4, it would take maybe a good, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds to develop a picture. But however, with the iPhone 4S, I've noticed it takes maybe 5 seconds. It's quite a big difference in speed. So some apps may utilize that faster processor a little bit better than others, and it just gonna kind of determine based on the app, I guess, on how fast it runs compared to iPhone 4 and iPhone 4S. Another thing I have noticed with the iPhone 4S is the way it charges. I usually go and I charge my phone at nighttime when I go to bed. I plug it in, put it on my nightstand, use it as an alarm clock or whatever, and go to bed, and then in the morning wake up, and unplug it. I've been noticing that when I wake up in the morning, it's not at 100% charge, and I figured out the reason why. The reason why is once the iPhone 4S reaches 100%, it stops at charge, which is good because it prolongs your battery life in long term. It's not continuously charging your phone and draining down that lifetime of your battery. So once it gets to 100%, it stops the charging. If you have a lot of apps or something like that running in the background, or maybe there's a lot of time that has passed by since it reached 100%, it's going to slowly kind of go down. It's going to take away from that standby time. So I've been waking up in the morning and maybe it's down to 95%, and I'm not understanding why. But that's really why. Once you unplug and plug it back in, it's going to continue to come back to charge. So depending on where your battery life is at when you go to bed and plug it in, is going to determine how much time it's going to have to sit there in standby mode and suck up a little bit of battery. So you're going to have to kind of be aware of that. You might have to do some kind of strategy where maybe you bring a charger with you to work, maybe, so you can kind of compensate if you're going to be at work for a long time and you're afraid it might run down. So it's just kind of going to be one of those things you have to kind of play with and kind of figure out where your comfort zone is going to be on how to maintain the most out of your battery life of your iPhone 4S. So that's it. That takes care of this episode of My iPhone Show. I'm Christopher Chaos. Be on the lookout for some more videos to do some more stuff, maybe with the iPhone 4S, maybe some of the video stuff, some stuff with Siri, and whatnot. But there's a quick breakdown of some of the features of the iPhone 4S. See you next time. See ya.